Hi, thanks for watching this video. We are in week 2 of our dating series at Youth Group. This is a week 2 recap video. Now, last week we talked about what are the biblical categories of relationships, because we're talking about the relationship of dating right now, and we want to know, is dating a biblical relationship? Now, there are clearly 3 types of relationships in the Bible. There is the family relationship, the marriage relationship, and the neighbor relationship, which includes friends and family. And dating isn't necessarily a biblical category relationship. So it's not a necessarily God-given type of relationship between 2 people. What it actually does is it combines the friendship and the marriage relationships into this hybrid, man-made category of interaction between 2 people. And what it ultimately can lead to is sexual temptation. It only leads to eventual pain because the commitment between the 2 people is actually shallow. There's not a real promise of future marriage. And what it does is it actually deconstructs the God-given categories of relationships, especially marriage and friendships. Now, if you're not ready for the marriage relationship, if you're not ready to get married tomorrow, then what you need to do is you need to be focused on living out the relationships categories that you're involved in now. That means for youth today that you need to be the best child, the best sibling, the best cousin, the best friend, student, athlete that you possibly can be right now at this stage of your life. Now, that's week 2. Okay, so this week we talked about what does it mean to be a good friend. Biblically, friends have a substantial influence in our lives. They can either encourage us to live to the best potential that we possibly can for God, or they could corrupt our character, or they can corrupt good morals. And we ask the question, what kind of friend are you to other people? Now, there are 2 types of interactions that friends can engage in that can be very poisonous to the relationship status that we have with people of the opposite sex. These 2 interactions play on emotions and they play on physical attractions, and they are flirting and the way we dress, modesty or immodesty. So the first one, flirting. Now, there's a myth out there that flirting is harmless because there's no physical touching, physical interaction, that the flirting interaction is actually harmless, but it's not true. In fact, flirting hurts both you and the other person. First, what flirting can do is it can produce a negative reputation for us. And it's not honoring to God. In Ephesians chapter 5, verses 1 through 3, God's word tells us that we need to be imitators of Christ, and that there shouldn't be even a hint of sexual immorality named among us. Live out your lives in a way that's honoring to God and loving to other people. And that brings us to the second point, that flirting is unloving to the other person, because what it can actually do is cause that other person to stumble into sin. And Jesus speaks very, very strongly against those who cause other people to stumble into sin. Now, immodesty, specifically in how we dressed, how are we representing ourselves to other people? Where is our heart? So in the morning, before you get dressed, ask yourself 2 questions. What's my intention in what I'm wearing? And secondly, what repercussions could I have with what I'm wearing? Because actually, modesty is ultimately a question about, is not a question about clothing, but it's a reflection of our hearts. Because dressing immodestly on purpose to attract someone's attention is a symptom of pride in our hearts. So if dressing immodestly is pride, then dressing modestly is humility. And restraining and dressing immodestly shows that Christ has given us self-control over our bodies. And we want our hearts to be reflected in what we wear. We want to have godly values. We want to be known for our good works, not our good looks. Now, I mentioned before that this has been a really influential book, Sex, Dating, and Relationships by Gerald Heisted and Jay Thomas. And also this article, which I will I will attach to this email called God, My Heart in Clothes by C.J. Mahaney. This is an article on modesty that I found very helpful. It's a few pages long. I will add this to this email for parents and students who want to read a little bit more about biblical modesty. So thanks for watching this video, and I will continue in this dating series. If you have any questions, contact me please, and I appreciate your prayers and support. So God bless you guys. Thank you.